Are we filming? Yes, indeed we are. So this is another mail time. I've cheekily opened this already to speed things up. I've removed the address label for personal and privacy reasons, but I just want to show you this. But first of all, this is a box. Here in the UK, we have a postal system which offers a cheaper price if you can keep the actual width of the thickness of your parcel to less than 25 millimeters. So you get a better postal deal. And I bought a Filofax on eBay, and it was able to fit in the dimensions of this 25 millimeter thickness box. So that's good. Let me show you what I bought. So I would say it's well packaged. I like to see parcels with a box, and I could reuse the box. But let me show you this. I took it out because there was a message from the seller in there. But this is, as many of you will know, is a Filofax Domino in well-used condition. You can see the elastic. There is this tendency for it to get a bit saggy, but I'm not bothered about that. This is a mini size. Let me show you this. So it's the mini size, and the reason why I like the mini size, and I have a number. This is the one I'm currently using quite regularly as my EDC, my everyday carry, which is not a Guildford Mini Extra Slim. It's called the Filofax Mini Executive, and I like them because they fit in my pocket. So why do I need another one? Well, because I like to chop and change, and also it's good to share my experiences of different binders with you, the viewers. But I've not had a Filofax Domino in mini size before. And I thought I would try this out for a week or so as my EDC. I'm just going to transfer everything in here to here, and I'm just going to try it in my pocket, basically. As you know, I'm not a fan of these elasticated pen loops because they tend to get saggy. But I'm going to actually try that. I'm going to use it just for the purposes of experimentation. You can see it's a little bit saggy for this is a Pelican pen, but it's the same width as a standard Filofax pen, so it's already at the stage where it's sagging too much. This is a Pilot V7, and typically a Pilot V7 is a tight fit in a standard Filofax pen loop. So you can see already, I don't know how old this is or how much it's being used, but you can see that it's too saggy for the standard width Filofax designated pen. But it might be useful if I use a fountain pen. Then you just basically change up the size, and it's pretty good. I don't normally bother with a pen loop. In fact, as you know, I've got a propensity to cut them off, just like that. But it is what it is. I might actually leave it on, because it's not going to make much difference. Very, very similar to other. Let me just see if I can hide my notes. So 3 card slots there, 3 card slots there. You've got a pocket there. Have we got a pocket at the back? Yes, we've got a pocket at the back. So it is a fairly standard thing. Let me just show you the difference between the actual ring mechanism. I'm going to take these out. Luckily, this new acquisition has good rings, but you can see, let me fold this back, you can see that the rings for the Domino, I think they look like they're 15 millimeters, rather than the 11 millimeters here. Personally, the sweet spot, I think, is 13 millimeters, but beggars can't be choosers. But look at the mechanism. Look at the mechanism here. So this is the traditional way where the mounting is, it is a metal frame upon which this top mechanism frame is slotted, and then you've got this cover. So this is very much the traditional methods that you would find in many vintage Filofaxes. This isn't vintage, but it's early 2000s. But then you come to the Domino, which is riveted on, which is very, very common. But the thing I don't like about this is the fact that there is enormous, let me zoom in because I want to emphasize the point. This is an enormous gap. Did I mention it's enormous? Well, let me say it again. It is enormous. In fact, the gap is so large that I can hear an echo. That's how big it is. Now you've got the clamping mechanism for the elastic, which I will remove. Am I going to do it right now? Yes, why not? Let's cut it right now. Okay, let's see if I can just remove it. I'm trying to remove it, but it's a bit of a tight fit. I should have a pair of pliers. Oh, there we go. So, right. Problem solved. We can dispose of the saggy rubber bands, and we're left with a distinct gap, which I personally, I would personally have this traditional mechanism, but as we know, by accident or design, they've chosen this method so that there's room for the elastic. So I'm not complaining about it. It's just merely an observation. So let's do a quick check of the rings. Now they're quite solid, quite loud. They're in alignment, which is really good. It's much stronger and noisier than the mechanism in my my Filofax Mini Executive here, and that I prefer them quiet, because if I'm on a train or not always in a library, but you want them to be quiet. Whereas this is like, oh my god, that's, if you were sitting next to someone who was asleep on a train, they would wake up and go, what's happening, and I'll say, oh, sorry mate, it's my Filofax Domino, and they would say, of course, yeah, that's the one with the noisy rings, yeah, no bother, before they go back to sleep again. But it's in good order. It's a little bit noisy, it's a little bit agricultural, shall we say, a bit rudimentary, but that is the Filofax way, and it's riveted through. Interestingly, this is much easier to replace for obvious reasons. There's no lining. It is a basic model, probably the cheapest one you can get. If this ring mechanism broke, then it would be much harder to replace, because the actual metal support bar is actually underneath the lining, so you can feel it there. So it's a more complicated thing to replace. You'd have to unpick the lining there and slide it out, and so it's not impossible, but it's something that you would have to do. So as far as flatability is concerned, I'm very pleased with that. As you can see, it's got good flatability. So do these the Mini Executive, which is this one, and also the Guildford Mini Extra Slim. They have perfect flatability, and to be honest, so does the Domino. I don't know whether that's because it's a well-used model. If you own one and it doesn't have good flatability, then let me know. Or indeed, if you're, and you've got to be careful here to distinguish between the mini size and larger ones, because in general, from my experience, the smaller the Filofax, the more difficult it is to achieve flatability. But this one is good. I'm very, very pleased with that. The other thing I'm pleased about is the fact that I will not have the problems of bits and pieces of leather flaking away and then just getting on everything. It is a cross that I have to bear, but I love the format, so I just put up with it. It is, after all, an EDC. It's not a beauty contest. It is a working tool, as I'm inclined to say. So I'm going to be using this. I'm going to transfer all my effectively to-do list stuff from the Mini Executive to here. I'm going to try it for a week. This is going to be in my pocket. When it comes to pockets, one of the big advantage of these sort of soft floppy Mini Executives is they're not going to their corners are well rounded. These are not so well rounded, but to be honest, they're not sharp, so they're not going to be too bad in my jeans pocket or my trouser pocket or my jacket pocket, whatever pocket I use. This is going to be okay, and it's obviously the Domino appeals to vegans amongst you, so that is an attribute, I guess. I am not that fussed about EDCs, whether they're nice leather and beautiful leather or it's not so good leather, so long as it can be used, i.e. the ring mechanism, it works and is in alignment, then to be honest, it doesn't make any difference to me. It's much of a muchness, as we say in the UK. But there we go. Just to recap, there was no point in keeping the elastic, because this is my philosophy, certainly for an EDC, and that is, you're putting it in a pocket, your pocket holds it closed. You don't, for instance, have a paperback with an elastic band on it, because if you put it in your bag or your jacket pocket, it just closes by itself, and this is fine. This is absolutely fine. I don't mind that it's kind of open. That's probably the case if I bend it back like that to achieve good flatability. I would rather have that, put it in my pocket, and it stays closed by virtue of the fact it is in my pocket. So there we go. The Filofax Domino in mini size. I'm viewing it as a not an object of beauty, because clearly that's not its design. It is functional, and although Filofax make some far more expensive models, to be honest, picking one of these up, I know that some people, because partly my fault, I suppose, because I talk about these and eulogise over them, the Mini Executive and the mythical and almost unobtainable Guildford Mini Extra Slim, which probably hundreds of you have got email alerts set up on eBay, so that if one comes up, you can feverishly chomp at the bit to get your bids in at the very last second. There's not the case with these. They don't have that cachet, but they are an excellent working tool. To be honest, even the personal size, pocket, personal, and A5 size in Domino, there is a lot to be said for this particular model. Because of price, it's an extraordinary good. When you get one of these new and you can buy them for less than £20, and they have a complete set of dividers and a diary and assorted papers, it is a very, very good deal indeed. But I'm happy with this, and it arrived, and it came in a box, which helps protect the rings, as we know. So I'll leave it there, but thank you very much. This is a mail time for my newly acquired Filofax Domino in mini size. Thanks very much for watching. Until my next time, goodbye.